Welcome to Broadcasting Your Side Hustle, where the goal is to help you start a client attraction podcast so you can stand out in your niche, get more business, and step further into your purpose. All right, this episode, how do you monetize your podcast? This is a big question, and there's a lot of different ways that we can tackle it. So I'm going to give you a few different choices that you can do either individually or combine them all together in order to actually make some money out of this podcast that you're putting together and putting out. Here we go. The very first way to monetize your podcast is very simple. You drive traffic to your lead magnet that gets people value, but it also gets them onto your email list and into your automation. Well, the way that we got to do that is to be following the golden rule. Thou shalt always be building thy list. Let me say that again. Thou shalt always be building thy list. If you do not have an email list for your business, you are making a tragic mistake, and you need to remedy that as fast as possible. And if you don't have a lead magnet yet for your business, that needs to be remedied as well, especially in this digital age where people are finding you and connecting with you online. They need to understand how to go deeper with you and get more value from what's known as a micro transaction. No money involved, just an email address for value. If you don't have those things set up, do those as quickly as you can. The second way that you can monetize your show is by driving your audience to your community, whether that's a Facebook group, whether that is an email list, or you're driving traffic to a community that you host on your website or some other service. Doesn't matter. Drive them to that community where you're giving extra value and where you're giving opportunities to work with you. Maybe you're putting a webinar together every month, and at the end of that webinar, you've got a call to action where you invite people to go deeper with you, have a conversation, hire you, whatever it is. That is another way to monetize your podcast and make sure that it is hyper connected to your business and the problem that you solve. Delete Instagram for a week. I'll wait. I know you can't. I understand. But you could join our Podcast to Freedom community, which doesn't require you to. See, every day that you spend scrolling is a day that you did not spend building your client attraction podcast. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should join Podcast to Freedom. Number 1, and the biggest one, is it's distraction free. We're not on Facebook. We're not on Instagram. So there's no algorithm stealing your attention. Just a bunch of like-minded people getting together to move and build their podcast so they can get out of the 9-to-5 world. Second reason is reciprocity. This is a room built on giving, not performing, not dancing for the algorithm to go viral. You show up, you give value, you get value from people that are exactly where you are, people that are building. And the third reason is access. We get on Zoom every week, live, where you can ask me your questions that you're dealing with right now. No DMs, no messages disappearing into the void. You get answers for what you're dealing with right now. Imagine where you would be in 90 days if you put that scroll time back into building your client attraction podcast. That's why this community exists, to be distraction-free, built on reciprocity, and having actual access that can move the needle. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, this community is free, it is powerful, and it is growing, and I can't wait to see you in there. Podcast to Freedom. The link is below. Now let's talk about a way to monetize that isn't directly connected to your business, but can still add value to your audience. And what I'm talking about is affiliates. Now, if you haven't heard about affiliate links or being an affiliate, this is something I would encourage you to check out, especially if you know of some problems that people have either before or after they would work with you, and you don't solve those problems. For instance, I don't know how many times I've been on Facebook in different groups and seen people lamenting that I just need funding. Like, in order to grow my business, what I really need is funding. Well, okay, that's not a problem that this show particularly solves. But I do work with a company called Rok Financial that helps entrepreneurs that have at least $5,000 a month of income get the funding that they need in order to get equipment, do revisions around their office, add to the marketing budget. There are so many different avenues of funding that are available to you if you've got a business that is making money but isn't quite enough to support you yet. You just need that cash injection to get you to that next level so you can grow. I would encourage you to check out Rok Financial and have a conversation with them if that sounds like you, and I will leave that link below. And that's just how easy it is in order to work with an affiliate. It's not a problem that you solve, but it can still help your audience. The next thing we're going to talk about, and a lot of people think about this, is sponsorships. How do you get sponsored? How do you get a company to give you money every month within a contracted term in order to help you finance the show and finance your life? How do you get those sponsorships? I would encourage you to read the book Sponsor Magnet by Justin Moore, Moore. I've read this book. This guy has years of experience in the podcasting space. He knows the ins and outs of getting sponsors and having good relationships with those sponsors and being professional. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would highly recommend reading that book. Overall, the most important thing to remember when you're talking about monetizing your show is that you're delivering value and that you're doing it consistently. If you have not listened to episode 2, I would highly recommend that you do that, because we go through how to develop your first 5 episodes and make it easy, quick, non-stressful, so you can have that consistency in your show, because that is the primary way of creating that listenership, the audience, the attention, so you can drive traffic to your lead magnet, drive traffic to your community. You can have affiliate links that people will actually click on. You can attract sponsors. All of those things mean nothing and do nothing if you don't have consistency in your value and in your releases. So again, if you haven't checked out episode 2, highly recommend you go do that. If you did get value from this episode, all that I ask is whatever platform you're listening or watching on, give it a like, a follow, subscribe, download, whatever that platform lets you do to show that you found value here. That's all I would ask you to do. If you didn't find value here, no worries. You don't have to do a dang thing, and I wish you all the best. Until next time, my friend, keep going, and peace. See you in the next one.